Hi Spirit Fam, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a beautiful pick a card for you on what you are harvesting. Since we are in October, I thought this would be a great pick a card for you so that you could see what you are actually harvesting in your life, whether that be in your love life, whether that be in your career, in your personal spiritual growth. I just felt this would be a really great pick a card for you. So if you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I'm a psychic, intuitive, and a spiritual essence coach, and I provide you with guidance, wisdom, and inspiration every other week. I do want to let you guys know that there are going to be some changes coming to the channel as I will be letting go of these zodiac reads, but I will be offering them to you via a Patreon selection. So please stay tuned for that. So before we get started right into this pick a card, I do want to let you know that these are general readings, so they are not going to resonate with every single person out in the collective. So I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest. So right out here in front of you, you will see there are 4 different piles, and these are going to be the piles that you are going to be choosing from. So this is going to be pile 1 right here with this beautiful orange little pumpkin. I think these were so cute. Pile 2 is going to be right here with this beautiful white pumpkin. Pile 3 is going to be this checkered white and orange pumpkin. And pile 4 is going to be designated with this beautiful cream and orange mesh sort of coloring. So once again, I want you to go ahead and tune in, allow your intuition to guide you on which pile you are needing a message for what you are currently harvesting. Once again, we have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Without further ado, Spirit Fam, let's go ahead and dive right into your message. Hi, pile 1. This is going to be your message from Spirit on what you are harvesting. So let's go ahead and dive right into your message. So the first card that we have right here is going to be the lotus flower with your message of unfoldment. I actually love this. You know, the beautiful thing here with the lotus flower is that it is one of the most gorgeous, clean flowers that actually grows in mud. And you would think that growing in mud, being in all of that soot and all of that dirt, that it would actually have stains on its petals, that it would look dingy or that it will look gritty or dirty, and it actually does not. And what I love about this, I feel that your message here is that with unfoldment is that, you know, as you blossom in life, as you grow, as you learn the lessons that you are meant to learn while you are here in the physical, every time you expand your knowledge or your wisdom or you learn a particular lesson, there's a part of you that sort of unfolds. This sort of reminds me of the message that I get from my spirit team and the angels quite a bit, is that lessons come in layers. And every time that you get a deeper understanding or you have more clarity on a particular lesson or experience, you sort of shed a layer. And the beautiful thing about this is that this unfoldment is you sort of blossoming into who you are, you blossoming into this life. And I feel that currently what you are harvesting at this moment is the beauty. I feel like this is sort of wanting to call your attention to the things that are surrounding you in your life that spark a lot of inspiration, creativity, a lot of beauty. You know, you might be someone here, pile 1, who doesn't really like to acknowledge that all of the struggle, all of the strife that you have gone through is a beautiful thing. And this is something that you are truly needing to understand and embrace. Your next message here is going to be, ooh, the autumnal equinox with release. Okay. I feel that what this primarily is telling you here, pile one, is that this autumn, autumn is the time when we are actually harvesting all of our hard works, everything that we've sort of planted, all of the seeds, all of our goals, everything that we've planted in the spring is now come to fruition, and we're needing to sort of harvest all of that. And the message here is that you're needing to sort of release any resentment, anything that you currently have that, or that you are currently holding on to. This could be grudges. This could be any kind of, self-critical judgments or self-imposed beliefs that you have about things that actually didn't come to fruition. You're needing to release these because the fall is really where we sort of allow ourselves to let go what didn't transpire so that we could make space to then sort of plant the seeds of something else that we are wanting to grow. So I feel that, with this release card, and because it is here in the center, this is really sort of going to be the heart of the message here. And the message is release, let go, allow what needs to fall away to fall away. Don't try to hold it. Don't try to continue to pull it towards you. If it's not meant to be, it is not meant to be. And what Spirit's message here is allow it to be what it is and allow it to be where it is. Okay. Your next message here, pile one, is music and harmony. Okay. I absolutely love this. So I feel that overall right now, as we are diving into your message here, pile one, with music and harmony, it's about the importance of understanding that everything is energy in our life. The amount of effort that we put into it, how in balance we are with those energies, are the things that you are putting forth energy and effort into creating harmony and balance in your life. If they are not, then understand that whatever vibration or whatever frequency or whatever energy you put into something, you are ultimately growing that, right? You are growing more of that. And I feel the important message here with release when it comes to music and harmony is that if you are constantly trying to pull certain things towards you that are not actually meant for you, or it is not the right time for you, I feel that's the primary message here that I'm hearing, is that you are actually not going to create the perfect type of energy, the perfect type of frequency, because you're just going to be resisting what is. And remember, the message here with this release card is that this fall is really about harvesting what has already come to fruition and allow what has not to be what it is. Just release it. Release any kind of expectations, release the outcomes, right? Release these beliefs that it has to be a certain way is what you're really needing to sort of embrace here and let this go. And it's important to understand that whatever did transpire, there is beauty in that, right? You have learned something. This unfoldment is really about you growing more and becoming more in alignment, in harmony with who you are. As you release, you make space for things to sort of come into your life to create more harvest, right? So understand that as you are harvesting the things that have already come to fruition for you, make sure that as you are going forward here, that you are putting forth the right amount of energy or frequency that is going to create harmony and balance. All right, so your next message is going to be silence and snow. Okay, this is important because after fall, what do we have? We have winter, right? And in the winter, we don't actually plant our seeds. We don't harvest in the winter either because things tend to go dormant, right? Everything tends to go silent. Everything sort of goes back into itself. And it waits for the right time. And that's why I feel with this autumnal equinox release here, the message was, don't try to push things or pull things towards you when it's not the right time. So understand that with this message here, snow and silence, this is really about allowing yourself to go into this space where you sort of reflect, okay? And this is about really reflecting on what you have already harvested, okay? I want to point out here that this Silence Snow card is a 34, which is a 7. Okay, it reduces to a 7, and a 7 is really, I look at it as a sacred number. But 7's number is really about that contemplation and that withdrawal that we often do. We withdraw in the winter. We go inward in the winter because we're really trying to keep ourselves warm. We are trying to sort of reflect on the things that we want to accomplish for the upcoming spring season. So it's important here that as you harvest everything that you've already, that has already fulfilled you in some way, allow the winter to sort of come into play for you to reflect on where do you want to spend the most of your energy? What is it that you're really trying to create? And sort of plan out your next course of action, your next, steps into how you can make that achievable, and what are the tasks that you need to put into place in the spring, okay? Next, we have, oh, I absolutely love this. We have comfort and health with the number 11. Okay. The one thing I definitely hear here is, I'm sorry, it's not health, it's hearth. Okay. The one thing I definitely hear with this is that, when we are sort of releasing our expectations, when we are releasing the things that didn't pan out the way that we expected them to, right? I feel the biggest thing that we have to sort of come to terms with is that we have to find comfort in the fact that Spirit always knows best, right? There is always going to be a specific time when things will come to fruition, or when things will sort of pan out the way that they are meant to. I find there is no coincidence here that you have snow and hearth, and it's a lit fireplace here. And I feel that ultimately what this is saying is that, if you can really take a step back here, pile one, and really reflect on where you spent the majority of your energy. If there are certain goals or tasks that you did not accomplish this harvest season or this fall season, and you're sort of disappointed in that, I want you to sort of look at this from the perspective of how much energy did you put into it? What kind of energy did you put into it? Because again, you have to remember that the energy has to be in harmony. It has to be in balance. And if you're doing nothing more than a push-pull energy, you're not going to get the type of energy that you're really wanting. So I feel that what you're needing to do as you find comfort in where you are, not really allowing yourself to think about the what ifs or think about what could have been, just being content, being comfortable with where you currently are is where you're needing to be here right now. Okay, so next up we have full moon in Libra. Now the reason why I chose a Moonology cards here is because we are approaching a full moon. As I am recording this, pick a card here, we are approaching a full moon. And a full moon is about releasing, okay? It is about understanding that we need to learn to let go of the things that we don't have control of, and we need to let go of any type of frustrations, anxieties, relationships, outcomes, expectations, those kinds of things, because that type of energy doesn't really give us a bountiful harvest. It only sort of keeps us in that push-pull energy. And this is not what we're wanting here. So we have full moon in Libra here with a win-win outcome is forecast. Okay. I feel that primarily this message here is ultimately telling you here, Libra is all about balance, okay? And it's all about fairness. And I feel that ultimately what this is saying is that if you, pile one, if you are disappointed that there is a specific goal or a specific task or something that you didn't accomplish. What you need to understand is that maybe it's not understand that it's not the right time, because that was the primary message that I got. It's not the right time, but Spirit's telling you it's coming, right? Whatever it is that you are trying to harvest, that you have put forth a lot of energy and effort into, it is coming, but it's not the right time. So understand that it doesn't want you to give up. It wants you to continue putting forth that balanced, harmonious energy that you have been putting into creating this. Continue to do that, and understand when you keep the faith, when you continue to do that, it is going to transpire here for you. Yep. So here's your next message. Have faith in your dreams. So what this is saying is that don't give up. Understand that there is such a thing as divine timing. And it just means that, it just means that right now is not the right time. So if you're looking to make a move, if you are looking to sort of start a new career, I feel that what Spirit really wants you to focus on here is really ask yourself, when you center yourself and you think about this transition, really ask yourself, is this something that is going to bring you joy? Is it something that's going to make you happy? Is it something that is going to light you ablaze like this fireplace right here? Is it something that's going to feel very harmonious for you? And is it going to be in balance, right? So I want you to keep that in mind, because Spirit's message is that right now is not the right time. It doesn't mean that you can't move. It doesn't mean that you can't have a new career. It doesn't mean that you can't have, the home of your dreams. It just means that right now is not the right time. So Spirit's wanting you to wait, to keep the faith, continue to do what you are doing, and understand, excuse me, that your time is coming here. Okay, pile one. So let's go ahead and dive into the tarot now to see what additional information Spirit has for you. So we have the Ace of Voices, which is going to be the Ace of Swords. We have the Lover's card in reversed. We have the Muse of Voices, which is going to be the King of Swords, with the Muse of Materials, which is the King of Pentacles, and the Six of Emotions, which is the Six of Cups. Okay, here's what I'm seeing. I feel that intuitively, you already know the truth. And because you have the Lovers here in reverse, this is something that you are not happy about. I can tell you right now that you are very dissatisfied. Now, here's what I want to point out. Remember, your first card here was the Lotus Flower with unfoldment. Look at this Lover's card. It is full of lotus flowers. You have a lotus flower down here at the bottom. You have a lotus flower here in the center and a lotus flower here at the top. And what are they doing? They're all unfolding to the process. So the message here is trust in the process. Trust that right now is not the right time. Trust that your time is coming. And I feel that intuitively and intellectually, you know that making this choice or moving in whatever direction it is that you are trying to move into, you know that it's not the right time. And I feel that this is what has disappointed you the most. Understand that it's because there are certain things in play, maybe going on in the background, that you're not aware of here, pile one. And this is the reason why Spirit is wanting you to sort of take a step back. It's wanting you to sort of sit in silence. It's wanting you to sort of reflect on the how you really feel about it, and really listen to that higher calling, that higher knowing, that is getting that download. Look at this Ace of Voices here, pile one. This Ace of Voices, do you see this stream of light that is literally coming down from the top down into her crown chakra? This is divine knowledge, guidance, and wisdom, straight information from divine force energy that is really providing you the answer to it's giving you what you're wanting. Now, I feel here that with this King of Voices here, with this King of Swords, what it's really saying is that you really need to be very mindful you need to be very discerning. Understand that while everything might look like it's the right thing, while everything might appear that everything is in the right place or that things are going to be okay, you have to really utilize your own intellect and your own intuition. And the intellect comes from past previous experiences, right? Trust your instincts. Ultimately trust your instincts. I feel like you ultimately know the truth, but I feel like you're wishing that the answer was different. And unfortunately, pile one, the answer is not what you're wanting it to be. Because what spirit wants you to understand is that when the right time comes, when the right thing comes, you're going to have all of the resources that you need. Everything is just going to sort of fall into place. And it's going to make you feel so abundant here with this Six of Emotions. It's going to make you feel so full, so loved, so supported. And it's going to give you exactly what it is that you need. And it's going to make you feel like you're a kid in a candy store that is full of all of these wishes that are just sort of falling in their lap. So understand here that right now is not the right time for you here, pile one. Understand that when the right time comes, you will ultimately know, because everything, you won't try to make it fit. You won't force it. I think this is why that message of push-pull came into play here, pile one, because with this King of Materials, what it's saying is that you will have everything that you need and more. And it will sort of, like, everything that is sort of in your path that is sort of blocking you will sort of be cleared away. It will be a straightforward path. You will just walk from one end to the other. Everything will sort of fall into place. And you're going to be like, man, could it really be this easy? And the answer to that is yes, it can be this easy. And that's only because you allowed yourself the time to sit still, to listen to your inner guidance, and understand that divine timing is really what Spirit wants you, is where Spirit really wants you to focus, and understand that's where you need to be. Now let's dive a little further here, pile one, and see what additional information we have. So here we have Yang energy. I absolutely love this. Okay. This right here, this Yang energy, this is divine masculine energy. And what this energy is saying here, pile one, is it's saying, you know, divine masculine energy is really about putting forth action towards the things that we want. But here's the thing. We can take all of the action that we want, but when it's not the right time, you know, if we decide that we're going to do certain steps out of order, then it isn't really going to give us the same result that we ultimately would have expected, right? So I want you to understand that this is about you being willing to give a little right now, because I feel like ultimately what Spirit really wanting you to know and what they're saying is that even though you're not getting what you want right now, okay, even though you are not getting what you want right now, pile one, they want you to know that right now you need to sort of trust them. You need to trust the process. Trust that everything is going to pan out the way that you are, the way that you would want it to, and it's going to be even better here. So they're wanting you to sort of trust them, right? See how the hands here are so open? This is about you trusting in your inspiration, in your guidance, trusting in how you are communicating with your spirit team, and allowing things to sort of fall into place here. Next, we have number 11 by the book. Okay. It's no coincidence. You got two 11s here, pile one. So this is really, I feel this is like a leveling up for you. This is sort of a way for you to sort of have deeper understanding about divine timing. By the book is really about learning to stay the course. And I feel that right now you're wanting to sort of jump off of the Ferris wheel and you're wanting to sort of start this new adventure, start this new direction. And there is nothing wrong with doing that, but right now is not the right time. And Spirit is saying that if you could just trust them to go by the book that they themselves have scripted for you, okay? Because there are things that you cannot see, right? This is sort of like follow the leader. Here's what I want to point out here. This by the book, these elephants, which are very majestic creatures, by the way, they are about prosperity and abundance, okay? These elephants are facing the Yang card, which means that it's wanting you to trust in spirit. It's wanting you to trust in your desires, in your inspirations, right? So all the things that you are passionate about. And the Yang energy is about giving energy, right? So I feel what spirit really wants you to understand here, pile one, is that it wants you to sort of give a little, right? Give a little bit of faith to your team. Give a little bit of trust to your guides, your angels. Put a little bit of faith and trust in yourself that you're going to be led in the direction that you need to be in the right time. So last but not least here, pile one, we have number 31, Cosmic Emerald. Its message is create perfect health, access divine abundance. Okay, I feel the reason why this message about create perfect health is here is because ultimately the message here, pile one, is that when you are out of alignment, you are not in harmony with your own consciousness or the consciousness of your higher self, okay? And I feel that as you go through trials, as you go through challenges, as you go through obstacles, as you grow in a lot of discomfort with where you are, it's really hard for you to stay there, right? And it's the reason why a lot of us try really hard to make very quick, significant changes because we want out of where we are. So I want to share with you here, pile one, a very quick story about my own personal experience with wanting to leave my corporate job. Now, I will tell you that I was so miserable where I was doing what I was doing, and I left my corporate job once in the early 2000s because I was just so sick and tired. I was tired of doing what I was doing and I wanted to do something different, but it wasn't the right time. It only lasted for 5 months and I had to go back to the thing that I hated doing the most, right? But I didn't listen to my intuition. I didn't listen to my gut instincts that told me right now is not the right time. There is a perfect divine timing. And I will tell you that when I trusted that instinct, when I trusted it, I was able to leave my corporate job in the middle of a pandemic to do what I love doing. And here I am, living my best life. So it's truly going to be important for you to find the balance and the stability and the harmony in where you are. No matter how uncomfortable it might be, understand that if it's uncomfortable and you just can't stand it, it's really about you needing to trust the process. You needing to release any discomfort, everything that you are holding on to, resentment, anger, frustration, release it all and allow yourself to be healed of it, because there's still something in this experience here, pile one, that you are needing to learn. So pile one, this is going to be your message on what you are harvesting. I feel that the experience that you are having right now is truly about a massive awakening and a lot of spiritual growth and understanding, a deeper sense of knowledge and understanding of embracing where you are so that you could have the life that you desire at the right time, when it's time. So pile one, this is going to be your message. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Namaste, guys. Hi, pile two. Welcome to your message on what you are harvesting. So pile two, let's go ahead, sorry about that, and dive right into your message on what you are currently harvesting here. So for your first card here, we have lightning, which is power. So this is a message about, okay, here's what I feel. Power and lightning is really about a deep understanding of your own personal strength, okay? I feel that currently in this autumn fall period that we are in, where we are sort of harvesting, I feel like you're having a deeper sense of understanding of your own strength, your own power, what you are truly capable of. You know, the one thing about power is that, I mean, lightning is that it is an electrical current that sort of gets created up in the clouds and comes down to sort of find its groundedness, its connection, right? This sense of electricity that is usually up in the air has to find something from which to ground. So this is the reason why it sort of comes through. So I feel that right now with this message of power, you're needing to understand and become a little bit more grounded in your own strength and in your own power. Next, we have the spring equinox with its message of rebirth. Okay. This is very interesting because pile 1, if you are attracted to pile 1, I'm going to advise you to look at pile 1's reading because one of their cards that they pulled was the autumnal equinox, which was about release. You, however, pile 2, have the rebirth card, which is about transformation. It's about, okay, now I have a very different message that's coming through here with the lightning. Okay, so the message that's coming through here, pile 2, with this lightning is that it's reminding me a lot of the Tower card in the Tarot. Lightning strikes the top of the tower, which sort of lights the tower on fire, and the entire tower comes crumbling down. And it's about change. And when we look at the spring equinox, spring is about birthing things. It's about creating things. And with this rebirth, I really feel that what you are harvesting right now is you are going through this massive transformation here, pile 2, that is sort of restructurizing your entire foundation. It's a new way of being, a new way of understanding. It's almost like an old part of you has died away, whether this be old beliefs, old careers, whatever it might be. You're sort of going through this transitionary phase where you're being asked to sort of embrace this new life that you are embarking upon here. Next, we have mountain with the message of strength. Okay, I said with this lightning and power card, we talked a lot about strength, right? About how strong and powerful you really are, pile 2. And this is no surprise to me here with this rebirth, you know, with this rebirth being in the center, it truly being the heart of the reading and the message here. I feel that right now what you are harvesting is you are sort of releasing all of the challenges that you have you've overcome a lot of things here. And I feel like you're now in a place where you feel supported, you feel very powerful, you feel very strong, you feel very loved and nurtured. And I feel like this is a very big change for you. Let's get a little bit more because I do feel like this whole rebirth for you here, pile 2, is really about this greater sense and understanding of who you are. It's almost like you're becoming someone entirely new and you're not sure how that came to be. So your next message is going to be outer core with fluidity. Okay, so this is about being very flexible, very fluid okay, so here's the thing. With fluidity, I see a lot of water here, so it's going to truly represent your emotions. So I feel like emotionally, there's a lot of parts of you here, pile 2, that are sort of changing. I feel like you're sort of finding the balance between your old self emotionally and this new self that has now sort of come into the picture. And I want to point out that, you know, being very fluid, being very flexible, it allows you to sort of, you know, overcome lots of challenges that you ultimately would not have been able to overcome. And I feel like whatever transpired here in your life, pile 2, sort of came at you in a very surprising way. It's almost like you weren't expecting it. And now you're sort of in this phase where you're learning how to embrace this new aspect of yourself in this new, whether it's a new body, whether it's in a new career, it's just a completely new life altogether. You're needing to be a little bit more flexible, and it's almost like you're coming alive the more that you dive into this new life that you have been brought towards. So next we have Mystery and Dark Matter. Okay. This card really ultimately truly signifies to me great massive change, okay? Because I do see a lot of butterflies here, and butterflies really signify to me transformation. The transformation from one way of life or one way of being, when you are sort of reborn, everything sort of changes. And here's the thing. I feel, Pile 2, that there's a lot of great mystery in this new life that you have sort of been reborn into. There's a lot that you don't understand, and there's a lot that you're very unfamiliar with. And sometimes that can be very frightening, and it can be very scary because you have no way of knowing if you're going in the right direction, if you're doing the right thing. And so I feel a lot of times we tend to shy away from that. And I feel like you're not really necessarily shying away from that. You're embracing it, because I feel like there's a part of you that is embracing the mystery of the unknown. And you're like, this is great because it's giving you so many different experiences than you would have ever experienced before. All right, so next we are going to have Prosperity Lies Ahead. Okay. This is a new moon in Taurus. So again, I feel that this message here with this prosperity lies ahead is about, I feel that in this new life, you're a lot more grounded. You have a lot more stability. And I feel that you are charging well ahead here, Pile 2, into this new life, into this new beginning that is going to be very grounding for you and is going to offer you so many opportunities and experiences. Next, you have you and your loved ones are safe with the new moon in Cancer. Okay. I love here, Pile 2, that you have 2 new moons, literally 2 new moons. This is definitely an entire rebirth for you. I feel that this ultimately, what you're harvesting here is a new life with a lot of opportunities, a lot of prosperity, a lot of abundance, a lot of growth. And I feel that because it's so new to you, and because, again, a new moon is often reflected as a dark moon, okay? And that darkness is really about the unknown, right? And here's what I love about a dark new moon. A dark new moon is, when it's dark, we often can become so terrified about what we don't see that's coming ahead. But the thing is that it's an entirely clean slate. You can create it any way that you want to create. So you can, with a new moon, you can manifest whatever it is that you want, whether it's a new career, whether it's a new home, whether it's new love. And Spirit's really wanting you to know that because you are in this rebirth cycle, you are literally creating your life every single day, every single moment, with your thoughts, with your ability to be flexible and to be fluid with your emotions. Understand that when we manifest, the energy that sort of pushes or catapults our manifestations into fruition is our emotions, right? And so this is why it's important that you have this balance of mind, body, and spirit. And this is absolutely beautiful here, Pile 2. So let's go ahead and look at the tarot here, Pile 2, to see what additional information Spirit can give you about what you are harvesting here. So here we have the Ace of Materials, which is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is definitely a new beginning, full of a lot of opportunity, a lot of experiences, a lot of abundance, a lot of wealth. I absolutely love this. We have the Page of Emotions, which is the Page of Cups. So I feel that, with both of these right here, Spirit's really saying that anything that you truly put your emotion into, anything that you truly want to create, you can totally create. The Page of Cups is really about creating the vision. It's about allowing yourself to envision the life that you are wanting to lead here and understand that you'll be able to have that. Everything that you could possibly need is going to be provided for you. And what I really want to point out here with the Page of Cups is it's really about allowing yourself to sort of let your inner child come out and play. It's really about, you know how when we are kids, Pile 2, and we allowed ourselves to pretend all the time. When I was younger, I pretended that I was a teacher and that all my stuffed animals were my students, and I would line them up in my bed so that they would face me and I would teach them, and here I am, a psychic intuitive, but I'm also a teacher and a mentor for people who are newly becoming awakened and want to grow and harness their skills and abilities in their intuition. So I feel that ultimately with this Ace of materials and this Page of Emotions, it's really about you're going to have everything that you dream about having. And this is going to be a beautiful thing. Next, we have the Ace of Inspiration, which is the Ace of Wands. So I feel like you're going to have a lot of inspirations in this rebirth that you are harvesting. I feel like this could be a new career, new adventures. You could be wanting to travel. But I feel that ultimately you're in this brand spanking new slate here, Pile 2, that is really about just making your greatest dreams become such a reality here. Next, we have Awakening, which is which I really look at as it's almost like this higher message, this higher calling. Awakening to me is often signifies judgment to me. And that's truly what this awakening is. It's judgment. So it's about you awakening to that higher aspect of yourself, you awakening to something more, understanding that there is so much more that you could have, and there's so much more that you desire and that you want to become a part of. And again, that's all because of this rebirth. And next up, you have the Devil. Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you about the Devil, and I'm not worried about this at all. So I don't want you to sort of panic here, Pile 2, just because the Devil showed up, okay? Here's what I feel. I want you to understand that you have awakened to your own insecurities. You have awakened to your own it's sort of like your own sabotaging behaviors. But what I want to point out here about this Devil card is that it's really about transformation, because it represents butterflies. There are butterflies and moths on here, which is truly about, looking deep within ourselves and transforming ourselves from within and without. And so I want you to understand that this whole message here about what you are harvesting is a new life completely in a new direction, created the way that you want it to be. It could be whatever you want it to be. There isn't anything that it has to absolutely be the way that it once was, because who you were is no longer valid in this new life that you're being led towards. Next up, we have Higher Power. Yes. So again, with this Awakening card here, there is this massive higher power. I feel it's your higher self. It's your team that is sort of guiding you. It's giving you all of this knowledge and this inspiration to sort of achieve your greatest potential here. And then we have New Life. Okay, Pile 2, it doesn't get any better than this. You are literally harvesting an entirely brand new life. So you could have just ended a very massive cycle here. You could have cleared up a lot of karma. So now things are sort of balancing themselves out. You've overcome a lot of challenges. I feel like now what you are going to be experiencing is a lot of love, a lot of abundance, a lot of things that you primarily have not really ever really experienced here before, Pile 2. So I want to point out that what you are harvesting is this is a time for you to sort of just sort of experience things that you've never experienced. The bliss of success, right? Of love, of abundance, of having all of your needs met and taken care of. You're embarking on a brand new life, and you can create it and mold it and shape it any way that you desire here. Your last and final message here is going to be the pool of Christ love, with the message of open your heart and spread unconditional love. Okay, I feel like you are in this space here, pile 2, where you are literally opening up to brand new cycles, brand new ways of living and enjoying life. It's sort of like experiencing the pleasures of life in a new way. Maybe this is something that you've never really been privy to. Maybe you've only known, strife or struggle. And I feel like now that you are in this new cycle, that you are in this new life, you're going to be experiencing the bliss and the wonder of so much more than what you've ever experienced. Whether you've had challenges, I want to point out here with this Ace of Materials that if you've had challenges financially, I want you to know that things are swiftly going to be changing for you. You're going to actually have all of your needs met and taken care of for you here, pile 2. So this is going to be your message on what you are harvesting here, pile 2. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Namaste, guys. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your message on what you are harvesting. So let's go ahead and dive right into your message here from Spirit on what you are harvesting. So right off the bat, we are starting with the message of new beginnings here with Dawn. I absolutely love this here, pile 3. I apologize. What this is really saying is that I feel that you are embarking upon some new adventures, some new beginnings. The one message I keep hearing here with Dawn is that once the day is over, like it's almost like what's gone is gone, right? Like whatever transpired the day before, allow it to lay at rest. Everything starts anew when the sun rises, okay? So I want you to sort of keep that message here, because what it's really wanting you to know is that every day is a new beginning for you to live and create something new. So you can start all over every single day, and what didn't transpire the day before, allow it to be what it is. Next, you have the Green Man with the message of synergy. So what I love about synergy here, pile 3, is that synergy is two or more different types of energies working together to create something beautiful. So Green Man is really about, Green Man is just one of those things that comes from different types of cultures. But I feel that the ultimate message here with synergy is really about two different types of energies working together to create something in harmony and balance here. Okay. Next, we have the message of veiled, which is fog. Okay. And you actually got an additional card here, so I'm going to turn this one over so that we could get a general consensus here. So this message is ancestors, witches, generations. Okay, here is what I feel the overall message is for you, pile 3. I feel that what you are currently harvesting right now is that I feel like there is sort of a lot going on, and I feel like automatically right off the bat, the reason why the message of what transpired yesterday, allow it to be in yesterday and start anew every single day, is because I really feel that you are really changing a lot of karmic cycles in your life right now. This is what you are currently harvesting. I feel like you're doing a lot of ancestral work here. And I feel that all of this ancestral work is sort of new to you. And I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot that you don't know. The thing with veiled and fog is that fog can sometimes be so thick and it's very low to the ground that it often makes things very, you can actually have like no visibility. It can completely cover your path. And I feel like right now you're in this space of having to sort of direct yourself and there is no visibility. There's no clarity. There's no, it's like you don't have a map on where you're going. And I feel that this often can make you feel kind of frustrated. But I feel that overall what Spirit's really wanting you to know is that you're working with your ancestors on clearing a lot of karmic stuff in your ancestral line here, pile 3, that is going to, you will eventually overcome it, okay? Because I want to point out here with this veiled card, here's what I want to point out here with this veiled card. You notice how the fog is dour, it's down lower, right? So it's going to be lower at the roots, right? Where you're walking, where your path. It's going to cover your path. But notice how you can see the sun and the tops of the mountains. So to me, mountains truly represent our challenges, our obstacles, the things that we overcome. And I feel that right now you're deep in the rut of what is currently going on. And there's just so much that you can't see. There's so much that you don't understand. And I want to point out here that even though you might be going through a lot right now, and you might feel like you're not growing, you're not expanding, you're not learning, I want to point out here that your spirit team is doing a lot of work on your behalf behind the scenes that you're not aware of. So I want you to sort of keep that in mind as we go a little bit further here. Your next message is going to be alchemy and magic, okay? And this is really about, again, alchemy is really about taking different energies and molding them together to create something new. When I look at alchemy, I often look at the taking whatever resources that you have and creating something out of it, like when you take, when I look at the, oh my goodness, I totally just went blank. I do apologize here, pile 3. When we often hear the story of Jesus turning the goblet of water into wine, right? Okay, that is an alchemical process, right? It's sort of this transformation, taking two different types of energies and creating something new out of it. And I want to point out here that with this being right here in the middle with new beginnings and synergy again is about two to more energies that are different energies, separate and on their own, have their own identity and their own purpose and their own, what they're used for, but they come together with another type of energy and they create something even more beautiful. And in this aspect, the message here with Green Man is how Green Man comes together with Mother Gaia to create the many cycles of the rebirth and death of foliage, and how there are cycles in our calendar year, and how there are cycles on when we should, plant the seeds and when we should harvest and when we should rest, right? So I feel that even though you are going through this, very challenging time here in pile 3, understand that there is a lot going on behind the scenes that you don't know, okay? Next, we have creation and water. Okay, so yes, again, I feel that you might feel like there is no movement. You might feel like you're not really, accomplishing anything. But again, I want to point out that there's a lot that's being taken care of, balanced out, behind the scenes that you're not able to see. And I want you to understand that, I feel like I think if you were to pay attention to your emotions here, pile 3, you might really truly be able to understand how this process is working here. and how you're actually healing, you know, ancestral karma. Okay. I want to point out that I feel like a lot of times, you know, when we express emotions or when we have certain specific emotions, we tend to often stuff those emotions or we tend to neglect those emotions. The one thing with water and creation is that water is vital to the things that we want to create. We are made of 75% water. Our bodies are made of 70 to 75% water. Water is how we feed and nurture foliage, plants, right? So I want to point out that however much effort that you put into your emotions, right? Are you acknowledging your emotions? Are you allowing yourself to feel your feelings? That is how you are processing. It's also important. Are you maybe someone, pile 3, that needs water to help yourself heal, to be able to shed old layers of who you once were in order to create and to become someone new, right? So I want you to sort of keep that in mind here. And I feel like you're going through this massive change that is requiring you to sort of be open and be receptive. Next we have a fiery climax approaches with the full moon in Aries. And hold your vision with a fixed moon. Okay, here's what I want to point out here. I want to point out that this full moon is really about releasing. Full moons are really about releasing. So I feel like what's transpiring is that as you are going through this, I feel like it's all coming to an end, right? A climax is really about an ending. It's about a finishing, a cycle coming to an end. And even though you might feel like there is no end, like you visually cannot see an end coming, Spirit wants you to know it is approaching. The ending is approaching, right? So I feel like its ultimate message here is hold your vision, continue to focus on, you know, be so fixed on what it is that you are desiring, what it is you are wanting to accomplish, and just continue to hold that vision. Allow yourself to really see yourself healed, see yourself completely in love, or whatever it is that you are wanting. You know, whether you're just wanting to feel better, whether you're wanting to you know, get a new career or find the love of your life, you know, continue to hold that vision. Let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot here so that we could see what additional information Spirit has for us, has for you here on what you are harvesting. So we have the 3 of Materials, which is the 3 of Pentacles. We have the Muse of Inspiration, which is the King of Wands. So I'm going to have to move this down because these cards turn sideways. Okay. Then we have, oh, look at that, the Tower in reverse with the Emperor in reverse and the 2 of Cups. This 2 of Emotions. Okay, pile 3. Here is what I'm seeing for you. So I want to point out that, you know, right now here with this Tower, everything is being shaken up, okay? And I feel like there might be a part of you that's resisting this. There might be a part of you that is really resisting this change that is happening. And I feel it's because a lot of it isn't being revealed to you. It's almost like it's going on behind your back and you're not aware of it. I feel like there's a part of you that you know, it's almost like you know that there are changes that need to take place, right? And with this Three of Materials, it's really about coming together, right? The Three of Pentacles is really about community. It's about collaborating well with others to create something that people are compassionate or passionate about. And I feel like, you're needing to really be inspired to, it's almost like your thoughts and your emotions, the things that you are communicating to yourself need to be in alignment with what is currently transpiring in your life here with this Three of Pentacles. I feel like you're not really helping your spirit team out. I feel like because you're resisting all of this change and I feel like you're just in the rut of it all. I feel like because it just came on so suddenly, you're like, what the hell is happening in my life? And I feel this is the reason why everything is sort of felt out of balance for you. The ultimate message, though, with the Emperor in reversed and the Two of Cups is that, I feel like if you can get out of your head a little bit, if you can sort of allow yourself to be in balance with what is transpiring in your life, I feel like you'll be given the guided action and steps towards making that become achievable. When I see an Emperor in reversed, I often see someone that is very strong-headed and someone who is not really willing to be open or receptive to what needs to transpire. And so you're needing to sort of come into balance or come into union with your spirit team, with your ancestors. You need to embrace what's currently going on here. It's almost like you're needing to be a little bit more flexible here. Notice how these two right here and these Two of Cups are sort of swimming, right? It reminds me a lot of synchronized swimming when you watch the Olympics. They have to be in constant communication with each other in order for everything to be synchronized to the right rhythm, to the right beat. Everything has to be in its exact point. And I feel that Spirit really is wanting you to understand that. Spirit is wanting you to say, work with us. Allow us to help you go through this transition. Even though you can't see what we're doing behind the scenes, trust that what you are currently feeling in your body, in your physical life at this moment, is meant to transpire this way. So let's go ahead and get additional information. So next we have, here we go, flexible. Yes. So Spirit is wanting you to be a little bit more flexible here, pile 3. It's wanting you to understand that whatever comes up, it isn't there to block your way or to prevent you from doing anything. It's just wanting you to sort of blend those different energies together to make them work together so that you could adapt. So it's really about adaptability, understanding that you need to, work with what you are given, because there's reasoning behind what's transpiring. Next, you have poised. Okay, here's what I find very interesting. This poised card is really about understanding that, sometimes there are certain things in our life that we ultimately cannot, that we don't understand, right? But it's really about allowing ourselves to express what we are currently feeling, or allow ourselves to be, it's almost like Spirit really just needs you to sort of be ready, right? Like just be ready for this change. Because I want you to know that even though you're at this point here, pile 3, where there's just so much uncertainty, I just feel like You're like, I just have no clue as to what the hell is going on, and I don't understand it. And I've been asking for clarity, and I haven't been getting it clarity. And one thing I did not say here with the fog and the veiled is that something is being hidden from you here, pile 3. And I think that what's being hidden from you is something that you actually are not ready to fully understand or incorporate just yet. But understand that this poise card is really about Spirit preparing you. Spirit wants you to know that something is going to be revealed to you, and it's going to come to the surface. And it's really about you needing to be at your best, like being confident, right? Being confident that you can overcome whatever transpires, or that you are, exactly who you are and what you are capable of. Okay. Next, we have creative solutions. And the message here is think outside the box. View things from a higher perspective. Yes. Okay. And next is listen to your heart, awaken psychic abilities, and tune in to the infinite. Okay, you actually got an additional Earth Magic card, and you got additional Unicorn Magic cards. So I feel that ultimately what Spirit wants you to know is that right now you're not in a state of harvesting here, pile 3, but you are in a state of allowing an old cycle to come to an end, right? An old cycle is going to be coming to an end for you. And I feel that even though you're in the rut and you can't really see where it's going, Spirit really wants you to sort of see things from a higher perspective, almost like be the observer, right? Understand that when things transpire a certain specific way, it's because Spirit ultimately has the better vision. They can see things far more in advance than we can. And I feel like ultimately it's wanting you to embrace, like when you can see things from the different, like view your current experiences differently. It's wanting you to change your perspective, okay? It's wanting you to really work with your psychic abilities, listen to your intuition, trust that you are being guided exactly where you are meant to be here, pile 3. So this is your message, pile 3. I don't really feel that you're in a harvest period right now. I feel that what's coming is that you will be transitioning into a harvest period. As I mentioned, you are sort of ending an old cycle. You're going through a lot of karmic healing. And so you're needing to sort of embrace where you are, embrace the experiences that you are experiencing, and sort of allow yourself to heal from the inside out. Trust your team. Trust your team. They know exactly what it is that you need, and they're providing it for you. And even though it's sort of being clouded, like it's being, hidden from you, understand that it is going to come to the surface. So pile 3, this is going to be your message. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Namaste, guys. Hi, pile 4. Welcome to your message on what you are currently harvesting. So let's go ahead and dive right into your message here, pile 4, on what you are harvesting. So first card up, we have Cave and Sanctuary. Okay. Then we have Desert with Vision Quest. This is interesting. And then we have Milky Way Perspective. Okay. All right, pile 4. I feel that what you are currently harvesting right now is you're being guided towards building a newer life for yourself. Maybe you're wanting a change of scenery. Maybe you're wanting a new career. You're wanting to change the way things are right now. I feel that in the past, you have sort of had a particular vision And I feel like you really hid yourself. It was almost like you, any kind of, desires or passions that you had in the past, you actually sort of kept them hidden from yourself. It was almost like you never really wanted to reveal themselves. You never really wanted those, dreams or ideas to sort of come to the surface. You never wanted them to see light. But understand that, you allowing that to sort of be hidden has made them that much more desirable here. And so I feel that what spirit is doing here, and it's sort of making you, I feel that what it's bringing to the surface is it's wanting you to sort of move towards creating the vision in your mind's eye of what your life would look like in whatever it is that you tried to hide from yourself, right? Like whether what would your life look like moving outside of the country if that is truly what you're desiring? What would it look like if you changed careers? What would it look like if you, decided that, you didn't want to be married anymore, or that you decided you did want to be married? Whatever it might be, it's wanting you to sort of understand that you're needing to explore the depths of that and then truly see that vision from a different perspective. The one thing about perspective is that we often have a lot of beliefs, right? We have self-imposed beliefs. We have limiting beliefs that truly prevent us from seeing things from multiple points of view. And the thing with perspective is that you're needing to sort of come to an understand, what are your self-imposed limiting beliefs? Do you believe the way that you believe because that's truly what you believe? Or do you believe that way because that is what you were told to believe, right? So I feel that what you're currently harvesting is there's sort of like everything that you thought was solid in your life is now sort of coming up to be questioned. And you're sort of exploring that, and you're recognizing, what, there's some things here that don't really match up. And I need to figure out what it is that I truly want, or that I truly, am desiring. I feel that's kind of where you are. So next we have movement and speed. So I do feel that things are, I sort of feel like you really transitioned very quickly from this. It's almost like you sort of catapulted towards this greater depth and understanding. This could be, you going through an awakening. And you coming out of a dark night of the soul into this new dynamic, new life here. And now you're sort of being made to look at things from a very different point of view, so that you could have depth and understanding here. And then we have atoms, which is building. Okay. I do feel here, pile 4, that with this building, I feel that this is really about you really seeking out the things that you are wanting to build in your life. I feel like maybe, the things that you ultimately thought you wanted to have in your life are now not so much something that you ultimately really want. I want to point out that I find it very interesting that this is falling under perspective, which is really about, really asking yourself, looking at things from a very different point of view, and really asking yourself, is this something that I really feel wholeheartedly? Like, I feel very passionate about this. This is something I truly believe. Understand that everything is a building block upon another. And, I want you to understand that as you continue to grow and as you continue to expand, a lot of things in your life are going to change. And I feel like if you're not growing, like one of the things I often tell people here, Pile 4, is that take a look at the people within your circle. If you're the smartest person in your circle, then you're not growing. You've actually become quite stagnant. And this is a time when you need to really explore You need to search out for smarter people. You want to constantly be learning. You want to constantly be growing. So this is what building is. You want to basically understand that you will always be growing. You will always be learning. You will always be, moving towards newer adventures, newer opportunities. Like this is something that will never go away. It will always continue to build upon itself. Okay. And I feel that that's kind of where you are right now. I feel that you're in the midst of really truly experiencing this new life for yourself, and you're really sort of playing devil's advocate with yourself. You're asking yourself deeper questions, pile 4, that you ultimately would have never asked before. And I think that's because you're truly in this point in your life here where you're exploring, what is my life really going to look like in this new direction? So let's go ahead and dive in a little bit more. So next we have your commitment is being tested. Okay, that's interesting. And the energy is gaining momentum. Okay, I feel that ultimately what this is saying is that I feel that whatever you are currently experiencing here, pile 4, is that oftentimes when we sort of start questioning a lot of things, and notice how I said maybe you've just come out of this dark night of the soul, right? Understand that when you go through this spiritual growth, when you really go into an awakening and to enlightenment, you really have to be committed. And understand that when you sort of see things from a different point of view, when you change your perspective, when you change your beliefs, when you start questioning things, you will be tested, right? But the test isn't to make you stumble. It isn't meant to, have you fail, right? What it is it's really trusting. It's really testing your faith. It's testing, how committed are you to the process, to grow, to expand, to continue building upon yourself, right? And I want you to understand that the more that you work on this, the more stable you will become, the greater of a foundation you will build, and the more you'll be able to build upon that foundation. The energy is gaining momentum really tells me that things are going to be moving very swiftly for you. The more that you continue to, question your structures, question your foundation, question your beliefs. And the more that you do that, everything will move a lot quicker. It'll move a lot faster, and it won't feel like you're kind of stuck in the same rut over and over and over again. So let's go ahead and dive into the tarot to get additional insight here, pile 4. So here we have the Star, the 7 of Voices, which is the 7 of Swords, the 8 of Voices, which is the 8 of Swords, the 9 of Materials, the 9 of Pentacles, and last but not least, the 10 of Voices, which is the 10 of Swords. Okay, pile 4, you've got a lot of swords here, but this tells me that you're seeking a lot of clarity. I want to point out here that with this 8 of Voices here, you're feeling very restricted at the point. And I want you to pay very close attention to where in your life are you feeling restricted. Because I feel like maybe in the past, you have been around a lot of people that have deceived you, or maybe you've deceived yourself here. And what Spirit is really wanting you to be aware of is that you only feel stuck in the situations or the areas of your life that you feel stuck in because you choose to stay there. The thing with the 8 of Swords is that it's all about, are you choosing to see things for what they really are? And are you choosing to consciously make better choices? Or are you just giving up? Are you choosing to stay where you are? The Star really represents our hope and our faith and our inspiration. And I feel here that, I feel like there's a part of you that is getting this knowledge and this wisdom. You're getting information from your spirit team that is sort of helping you understand the areas of your life that you're needing to heal from and that you're needing to really have faith and trust, right? But don't get caught up in your own thoughts. You know, swords really represents the thoughts that we have. Don't get caught up in the illusions. Don't get caught up in your thoughts. Don't get caught up in your head, you know, because that's only going to restrict you. It's going to make you feel bound to the current situation that you're in. And it doesn't allow you to see things from a very different point of view. Okay. So understand that, the Nine of Materials is about being independent and understanding how grateful you are for the experiences that you have experienced, right? And it's about recognizing that you have so much more. You know, when I look at the Nine of Pentacles, I often see the Pre-Empress card, because the Nine of Pentacles to me truly signifies that, you know, all of these experiences have given you something. You've gained something from them, whether it's wisdom, whether it's knowledge, whether it's experience. You've learned something from every experience that you have gone through. And that experience in and of itself has made you stronger. It's made you more independent. It's made you more reliable. It's made you more flexible, right? So there's certain things here that, you know, once you detach yourself from the illusion and you allow yourself to heal, you're going to start realizing that you don't need anything outside of you to fulfill you. You're going to understand that you can provide it for yourself. And that is when you'll approach the Ten of Swords, which is really about the ending, right? The ending of the old, right? You no longer hiding who you are, what you believe, because you know that that only keeps you stuck, okay? So let's go ahead and dive in a little bit deeper. So next we have a change in the wind with serendipity. Yes. Okay. So pile 4, what this is really saying is that there are a lot of things that are currently, you know, changing in your life, or things that need to change. And I feel that, you know, maybe there was a lot of things in your past that sort of changed. But I want to point out that you're transitioning into this space of a lot of synchronicities, a lot of good luck. And this is what you're really needing to sort of embrace as you go through this. This is what you're harvesting. Understand that, you know, the trials, the tribulations, the obstacles, all of that you have faced has really led you. Those needed to transpire. All of that change needed to transpire because everything in the old made you feel stuck. It made you feel very restricted and confined to certain, you know, experiences and cycles. Now you're sort of transitioning to a lighter side where things are going to be sort of, you know, flying in very rapidly, moving very closer to you, and sort of feeling like, you know, things are just automatically falling into your lap, right? So it's all this luck and spontaneity and, you know, serendipitous events that you need to really experience, okay? And last but not least, we have number 25, caring community. This says participate and belong and enrich your life, okay? And last, we have access your gifts with explore your treasure chest, accept who you truly are. Okay, pile 4, I feel like ultimately this message is very simple. I feel that what you are harvesting here is, you know, this old way of being is sort of maybe, you know, you're wanting more like-minded individuals in your life. Maybe you're wanting to build, you know, your soul tribe. Maybe you're wanting more people to sort of embark on this new adventure. I don't find it surprising at all, especially here with serendipity, that one of the phrases I used with you is if you're not growing in your circle, then you need another circle. Notice how we have a circle here of individuals that are all linking hands, right? They are participating. They feel belonged. they're, you know, celebrating with another, with each other, and they're, you know, in each other's lives because they know that they are enriching each other's lives. And I feel like this is what you're needing. This is where your experience is taking you. I feel like, you know, you're needing to really see things from a very different perspective when it comes to your life. Learn to embrace who you really are. Embrace who you really are, because who you are is truly significant. You offer so much to this world and to individuals around you. And this is what you're really needing to you know, sort of embrace and experience. This is what you're harvesting. You're harvesting a new life full of love, abundance, community, like-minded individuals, and higher powers and abilities and gifts. You know, maybe there's a particular talent that you haven't truly embraced that you need to embrace. You're needing to transform into that. And I feel that this is what you are harvesting. This is your message, Pile 4. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Namaste, guys.